Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to GameStat TV. We are back on a Thursday night bringing you Plantronics Pro League, Rocket League action. It is going to be a fantastic evening of Rocket League from us tonight. Sponsored, of course, by Plantronics and brought to you by Cybergamer. This is a GameStar Media presentation. My name is Chrisis, and I'm joined in the studio by EJ. Good evening, EJ.
Get some. Should be a good game tonight, dude. Starting it off with some main league, I believe it is, or is it amateur?
No, it's amateur. We're going to have an opening match, the amateur from the amateur league. Gameroos, Hypanova, White versus Hydra. So the Roos looking to build themselves a bit of a dynasty, I think, in the esports scene in Oceania. They've got an invite league level team, the Gameroos Hypanova team, and now they've got a white team as well, which is their, I guess it's their feeder team into the new team. So
yeah, I guess so. Give the reserves a chance to get some action and some play.
Yeah, exactly. And the boys from Roos White are going up against Hydra, and Hydra, another team in the Cybergamer.
The nemesis of Shield. Now it's third versus fourth on the ladder. And both teams are on a one-match winning streak.
Oh, right. So someone's momentum is going to carry them through into the next week, and someone's momentum is going to go crashing and burning.
And the other team has joined the server, dude. We're getting game underway here soon.
All right, fantastic. In fact, they're jumping into their teams. So let's switch on over there and let's get things going. All right, just hopping onto the server and getting some game sounds.
All right, game underway. I'm going with, I'll run through the teams for you. So on the blue team for Hydra, we have Decibel, Jugs, and Warm Turd. Everyone loves a bit of warm turd. And for the Gameroos white team, we've got Blade, Dasu, and a little Grasshopper. They are on the orange, and Hydra are on the blue. We are 1 minute or 30 seconds into the game here, 4 minutes 33 on the clock, and Chrisis, not much action so far.
Yeah, we've got a bit of pressure building on the orange zone, and the goal wide open, and Decibel takes advantage of that and gets the first points on the board, and I've got to switch my overlays over.
And that's why he's the white team. He's blaming it on being a bit rusty. I think he's a little bit newbie. But we'll see what happens now. Players kicked off again. 4 minutes 24 on the clock. Hydra up by 1 point to 0. Or 1 goal to 0, I should say. Oh, and look at that. There's the Gameroo action. They're back into it now. Pushing the ball down middle field. Blade with the aerial almost gets the knock on. Doesn't quite get a goal. Ball bouncing around in front of the blue danger zone. Bit of Kenny Loggins actions here. Blade gets high. Blade doesn't score. Blade just sets it up for Dayasu, who comes through from the back. The set up from Blade. He got airborne. He tried to get it in off the sidebar. Dayasu knocking it in. And that's a candidate for definite goals of the top 5 goals of the week.
Yeah, speaking of the top 5 goals of the week, EJ, I believe there's another edition coming soon.
Yeah, I was supposed to record last night and 100% totally forgot about. Just went to do it before, but I need access to Google Docs. So Jam Pulse, if you're listening, give me access to your Google Docs.
Shout out
and we will get that done tonight.
Shout out to the boys from Jam who are working on putting those top 5 plays on every single week.
They're doing them for Rocket League. What a great community team they are.
Yeah, doing fantastic work. All right, back to the game. 3 minutes and 35 remaining to play in this first game. And it is 1-1 for Hydra and the boys from Gameroos Hypanova White. And we've just abbreviated them to Roos White. For the sake of the overlays tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The full name, of course, is Gameroos Hypanova, their white team. So in the orange zone, the ball's sitting around at the moment. We're following Warm Turd, who's falling back now very quickly. Switching over quickly to Decibel as the Roos start to build some pressure in the blue zone. Get the ball up. It's up into the air. Blade gets his rocket launcher going, but just misses the ball there, and the ball switches over to get cleared out once again from the orange team. Oh, here's a chance. It goes past the goal face of the boys in blue, and Jugs happily gets it cleared out there after nobody takes advantage of it. EJ, and the points stay exactly as they are, 1-1.
They do. Warm Turd cutting that ball off there. Ball was going to head down the sideline, and Warm Turd got a nice little rocket boost in there to get the intercept on. Defended out from Jugs. Warm Turd follows up, pushing it downfield, but plenty of defense back here at the moment. At least 2 to 3 players back for the Gameroo teams. But that's not going to be enough, Chrisis. They're going to have 100 players if they're not going to line up in goal. Hydra's going to get them.
So a nice little attempt at goalie styles from Daisu, but not good enough to connect with the ball, and Decibel takes the cross and puts it into the back of the goal nicely.
Oh, dude, he totally looked good missing.
Yeah, it was fantastic. We had him on stream and everything. So shout out to all our Twitch viewers who've joined us for this opening game of tonight's coverage. We're going to have, long range. Blade. Puts the ball away, evens up the scores with a shot all the way from midfield and evens up the scores. Yeah, so this is our opening match. It's the best of 5 because it is the Plantronics Pro League. And then we're going to have Paragon versus the CGI Gameroos Hypanova team. So the big brothers of the team that we have at the moment on the orange team, EJ.
All good. Blade into the air, gets another aerial knock onto the ball into the corner. Ball just driven out of the corner, across in front of the blue goal mouth there. Blade got a lot of air, didn't get a lot of connection. Ball centered by his teammate. Cleared out though by Jugs. Jugs doing a great job blocking up the goal mouth. Excellent defense actually. Drives it all the way downfield there. Jugs almost went the full length to get the goal. Chrisis couldn't quite get it in. Got harassed at the end. Someone's trying to squeeze his Jugs.
And not succeeding, I guess, because the score is still dead even. They carried the ball all the way up and it got cleared out, but the pressure's still on the orange zone. So good passage of play at the moment from Hydra, who were the first to score, I think. Were they the first to score?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, there you go.
Very first to score in a very early stage of the match.
And so they will be trying to convert their pressure into more goals, but it's not going to happen if the ball gets returned to the blue zone and they have to defend, which is exactly what's happening right now. Ball waffling a little bit, and in comes Jugs with the clear. There's a reply, though, from Rue Blade, and Warm Turd has to get the halo to keep another long-range goal from going in.
That was so close. Blade there almost getting the tiebreaker that was needed before the match runs out. 33 seconds on the clock here. We could be going to overtime in the opening game here of the night of Rocket League action. Brought to you by GameStars, Chrisis and EJ. It's a triple header tonight.
Nice little juggle there from Jugs. He carries the ball up. He just misses. Grasshopper's
defense.
Yeah, that was the halo, but the ball's still there. Another shot.
That was an own goal.
In the end, their Warm Turd fires through and gets the rebound off of Grasshopper. And who was that that ended up putting it in? Blade. With the unfortunate deflection.
Unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah, 13 seconds of play remaining, and it is 3-2. Hydra now in the lead in the first game of the best of 5. Very, very close match so far, EJ. And now
Blade.
Blade.
Might get it back into a 3-all here. Blade with the shot. Chrisis, is it in?
Oh!
Oh! How close. It's still up. It's still on.
The ball's not dead, no, and finally it goes dead. Blue picks up the win. Hydra go 1-0 up in the series, and that was very, very clever play by the Roos as they set that ball up, and only a last-minute defensive move coming laterally past the goals prevented that from going in. So a great game from these two, and we'll be into the next one in just a moment.
Shout out to Lost Pirate who's joined us. Oh, I should ready up. Shout out to Lost Pirate Chrisis who's joined us in Twitch chat tonight, ready for the triple header.
Oh, big shout out to Lost Pirate indeed. And having some good chat with Lost Pirate and the boys. Oh dear, did I just say spectate? I did say spectate, yes. For a moment there, I thought I'd joined the teams.
They might need you by the end of the night at this rate.
Well, as I clicked the spectate button, somebody joined one of the teams, and it was like, whoa, was that me? So we're into the game.
GameStar have actually entered a team into this ladder, so we're scouting our opposition here at the moment.
So we're not actually in the amateur league, are we? We're in the open ladder. Yeah. So how do you qualify for the amateur league?
Yeah, no, we're not good enough for that.
No.
That was almost a good enough shot, though. Beautiful shot on goal by Jugs. Millimeters in it. Oh, he would have been disappointed with that one, Chrisis. That was close.
Super, super close, and that would have put them in front once again. And they've enjoyed the lead a couple of times, including leading the series right now, 1-0. But the Roos will not go down quietly. They carry the ball up into the orange zone, and as soon as Jugs, he seems to like carrying the ball up like that. He gets to the midfield, and there's a Roo to disrupt him. The ball now back in the midfield after a little bit of an exchange. Dezebel drives underneath the ball, checks the underside, sees that the seam's okay, says that's fine, we can carry on playing, boys. And now the pressure coming through onto the blue zone. The Roos carrying it up, but not really much of a follow-up. They're getting it up into the blue zone, but no shots on goals just yet. The ball sitting up now. Blade picks it up and keeps it in the blue zone. In the air comes Grasshopper and just misses it. That means Warm Turd has an opportunity to carry it into the orange zone and try to set something up for Hydra instead of the pressure that the Roos have been keeping on so far.
I was specking Grasshopper that whole time, dude. You could see him salivating at the back there when that ball went high, and he got airborne but just missed. So back into the training school and hitting the aerials there for little Grasshopper. But doing the job on defense is still 0-0, so he hasn't had his line penetrated tonight. And he pushes forward here and knocks it clear. Oh, no, not at all. Ball's rolled back into the blue zone, orange zone, blue team on attack. 2 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock. 1-0 in favour of Hydra here in this opening match of Rocket League action tonight, Amateur League action to get us underway. And it is the Roo White team, Gameroos, Hypanova White, up against Hydra.
Oh, Blade goes up. He's on target but Warm Turd just changes the direction of the ball. Doesn't clear it out, though. Desu comes through and finishes it off there. Oh, Warm Turd with that save. He would have been very pleased with that, and then heartbroken when Desu took advantage of the fact that the ball was stopped in front of the goal and not cleared out. So it is 1-0 to the Roos White. And they are in the lead for the first time tonight. Even though they're behind in the series, this is the first time in a game that they've actually taken the lead. So they'll be pleased with that. 1-1 is all it takes, all you need to win a game. 2 minutes 15 already, EJ, and a much slower scoring game than the previous one.
Yeah, just still with little Grasshopper here. And to Lost Pirate, that explains the awesome car design, dude. A dude couldn't have put that good a colour scheme together. Little Grasshopper at the back here, Chrisis, still on defense. You follow the ball up on offense. I'll holler if she comes into the action.
All right, we're in the blue zone. We've got Blade going 1 versus 2 and winning out there. A nice piece of play there from him, juggling between two defenders who were falling back there. Warm Turd and Jugs trying to disrupt, and he actually gets a nice spin through the air as well. Flare points as well as a goal point there. So 2-0 right now for the Roos. They have come back after losing that first game in the best of 5, and they are firing right now with 2 unanswered goals in the second game.
Dude, for all we know, one of the Invite main team has got into their comms and gone, God damn it, boys, you're wearing our tags up there. Get some goals.
We're following Jugs right now, and Hydra looking to turn things around a little bit. The momentum has been against them, but they're building good pressure right now in the orange zone. The ball sitting up and cleared out there nicely by Desu. Yes, it was Desu who carries the ball out, sets it up for Blade, who gets a touch on it after it got cleared out in the midfield and perfectly on target. He's really found his eye so far. EJ picking up 2 goals so far, and in fact having 1 assist, so involved in every single one of the goals that have been scored so far. 3-0.
That MVP, dude, that's what he wants, that MVP award.
Nice touch over there, that's on target. The ball unfortunately bouncing off the crossbar, and he expected it to go in, so didn't actually get himself some air waiting for the rebound, but that's okay. The ball's still sitting in the blue zone. We're following Blade, sticking with him right now. He's been doing great work, and there it gets cleared out. The ball sailing towards the orange goal, and little Grasshopper clears it out with a massive punt, gets it back into the blue zone straight away.
Yeah, nice play there. I'm just following Jugs at the moment. He's on the defensive duties. He's just got the ball knocked out of his path. Swings it back down. Demolition over on the warm turd. And, oh, no, that could be another own goal. Oh, nice save by the warm turd. Just what a nice time to respawn that was, Chrisis.
Yeah, very, very lucky. And he got across, cleared the ball out. We're sitting with Jugs at the moment, who is wandering around in midfield. He misses a ball that goes wafting over him. Warm turd stops it again, but it's been the story of the night, or story of the game at least. They managed to stop the attempts on goals, but they don't clear it out with enough of an angle or enough power, and the ball sits there. And the Roos in this game taking advantage 4 times of that sort of situation and putting the goal into the back of net. Blade doing great work. He has scored a hat-trick there, EJ.
They're just checking the pings. Everyone's ping seems fairly stable. So Jugs has just asked for a short 20-second timeout at the end of this one, just to alt-tab and see what's causing him his grief. And that'll bring it to 1-1 here in the opening match between Gameroos, Hypanova, White, and the boys who Shield detest, Hydra. And Chrisis, standout players for you in that round?
Well, most definitely it was Blade. Who got his, he set his sights on that goal and was absolutely on target. And very intelligent play as well, so it wasn't just his shots on goal that he initiated, but the rebounds as well that he took advantage of that were outstanding. So he will be very pleased with that performance. Started off very slow, that game, EJ, but at, what was it? It was about 1 goal with about 2.5 minutes to go, and then all of a sudden the floodgates opened. We had 4 goals unanswered from Gameroos, Hypanova, White.
Oh, it was all one-way traffic in that second game. There was just simply not the same competition or the same intensity, I guess, that we saw in that. We thought we were looking at overtime in that first game, not a 4-0 whitewash as we saw then. So from a for and against point of view, that's going to be pretty handy. Not that it counts in these early stages of the match or anything, but it's all good. Dude, over to you. I just got to take a quick call for 2 seconds.
All right, no worries. So we're into game number 3. The series is tied, neck and neck, 1-1. It is a best of 5. So we're going to have at least another 2 games getting played. And one of these teams, well, both of these teams will want that win to go to them and get themselves that little bit of breathing room so that the pressure is onto their opponents to pick up their game and score. So we're following Jugs at the moment. He has been living up to his name, juggling the ball quite a lot, but he carries the ball all the way over and then it gets cleared away. And that's happened time and again this evening as Warm Turd. Now we switch over to him. He's going to carry on over, giving a little bit of airtime to the ball and a little bit of airtime to Hydra as well, who picked up the first game in the series and will be looking to come back after that loss in the second game. Pressure on the orange zone. Daisu with some backflips, bicycle play to clear it out. He tries to combo with Blade up against the wall, but the angle or the touch from Blade puts the ball over to the side from him. And right now, we'll switch over to the overview because the ball traveling from side to side of the field, and this is really how the second game started. Low scoring for the first 2 minutes. In fact, no scoring for the first 2 minutes. And the ball just traversing the field over and over. Sitting up for a while, though, in the orange zone now as Decibel gets a carry through. It's stuck in the corner, but he gets a nice rebound over there. Up into the air goes Jugs, but it's disrupted beautifully by the boys from the Roos and now carried into the blue zone. So, gets to the blue zone and waffles around a little bit and then gets cleared out. And that's not how you score goals. Do all the work of getting the pressure out of your own zone and shifting it into your opponent's zone and then just leaving it to sit there. The ball now rebounding off the back there. Blade gets a touch to it, keeps it in the blue zone. Up against the wall goes Daisu, but he just misjudges it. Jugs carrying the ball forward again. He's done this all evening. He gets the crossover. Warm Turds there. He's just out of position there. Not able to take advantage of the wafting cross. Ball sitting up again. Jugs gets it over. This is good play from the boys from Hydra as they keep the pressure on. And as I say that they fall back as a team, and get themselves out of the scoring opportunities that they were trying to set up for themselves. Ball back in the blue zone, and the Roos now looking to create something, but they've left their goal wide open and have to fall back very, very quickly. We're following Jezebel right now up on the wall. I did not see who that was, but that was way too powerful in terms of a cross, and the ball gets carried away back into the blue zone. It's sitting up now, and a must-do defense there from the boys in blue. It keeps the ball away from their goal face. It's sitting around in the blue. This is very much like that first game. Still no score. Donuts on the board for both of the teams as the ball gently finds its way into the blue zone and then gets cleared again. Lots of long-range shots. None of them really on target. None of them really threatening the goal just yet. As we approach the 1.5 minutes to go. Another cross that goes begging. Little Grasshopper gets the clear out. But a good
Beautifully
reply.
done indeed, Chrisis. As you said, this is exactly like the first game. Unlike the second game, that was a 4-0 whitewash. Exactly like the first game. Tense going down to the wire. Donuts all round though, Chrisis. That's amazing that this far in, we've got just about a minute left on the clock and neither team's managed to put a ball in the net yet in this game.
Yeah, not really sure what's happened. Maybe just a little bit of the boys from Hydra getting a bit of a turtle going. So they've carried the ball up into the orange zone, but once they've gotten there, they haven't been very aggressive about taking the shots on goal.
Here's their chance.
Yeah, it's sitting up, but there, and that's exactly how things have been going all game long. They get the ball up, but they're not being assertive or aggressive. And taking their shots at goal, and really it's almost as though they're carrying the ball up and expecting to have to fall back to defend, as they have done several times this evening. The ball carried out again but returned into the blue zone. This is some pressure that is getting built up by the boys from the Roos. I want to say the orange team, but they're also the white team, EJ.
They are, absolutely. But they're orange here tonight, dude. We're all orange if you're on the Gameroos team. 9 seconds to go, 8 seconds. We're going into overtime in the third game, it looks like. Unless something can be pulled out of the hat here. This is the last throw of the dice. No, beautiful defense by Blade. Keeps it out. Little Grasshopper knocks it down. And we're into overtime for the third game here of this opening match of Rocket League action tonight. Cyber Gamer action from the amateur ladder. And Gameroos White versus Hydra. As you know, we've been saying it. It is 1-1 in overtime now in third game. I'm going to stick with Jezebel, Chrisis. I think Jezebel's going to go big in overtime because he's got a crown. Anyone with a crown has to be thinking they're going to go big. Jezebel with the long-range shot. Just gets it a bit high. Follows up. Almost squeezes it in. Oh, gee whiz. That was great defense. Jezebel would have thought they were in for sure then, Chrisis.
Yeah, that was a great solo effort from him. Oh, but against...
Game over. Round over.
Well, I was going to say against the run of play, but not really, because this game has been zero scoring for 7 minutes just about. We'll see exactly when the overtime finishes, how long the overtime was, but just 1 goal scored. Now, where does it say how long that overtime was?
No, I didn't. I didn't know.
Someone said that it tells you how long the overtime was at the end, but I don't see it anywhere.
No, I've never noticed that.
Yeah, exactly.
It said 5 minutes.
What? Where does it say that?
Well, I'm just watching a stream, and it just had 5 minutes something, 5 minutes 58 or something.
Oh, so 58 seconds of overtime, maybe?
I don't know. I just roughly saw it.
It definitely wasn't 5 minutes overtime.
No, definitely not. So, hang on, where did it actually say that? I've got to look. I can't find it. Is it right when they have like the winning team or something like that? Where they announce winner? Because it's not.
I don't know where we're going to find that. What I'm going to find, though, is a bit of Warm Turd action. Warm Turd's got the horns on, and Warm Turd is going to go hard at this ball. Or actually, he's going to fall back into defense, which is probably his job. Pushes down the left-hand side of the field, does the Turd. Getting the ball across now. Here comes Turd. Turd on ball. Gets a bit of Turd on ball. Ball forward, though, by Blade. Just a fraction high. Gameroos Blade taking off right to start this one, Chrisis, where he left off in overtime in the third. That is aggressively attacking the line.
Yeah, Warm Turd trying to get the ball back up into the orange zone, but didn't have the angle on it, so the rebound off the wall centered the ball, and Blade, ever the opportunist, as we saw in game number 2, looked to take advantage of that and create a goal for himself. But fortunately for Wormturd, he didn't get that chance to kick himself for centering the ball for the opposing team and got cleared out. So once again, Donuts on the board, almost a minute of play. The ball sitting up in the orange goal, but Wormturd, you could see he was thinking about it, and then he changed his mind. He needed to really just go for it and punch the ball into the orange goal.
Oh, beautifully done. Now, apparently, Chrisis, you know how in the top right-hand corner you have, like, who scored the goal, who got the assist, all that sort of stuff?
Oh, right, okay, that's where it's going to be.
Apparently.
Ah, who told us that?
Oh, look at the turd, look at the turd, look at the turd! Go the turd! Warm turd, that's all you need in a game of Rocket League is a warm turd. And he gets the team Hydra 1-0 in this 4th game, Chrisis.
Oh, he had to work very hard for it. He ended up juggling the ball with one of the defenders, but gets the score in there. And Hydra are on the board after spending almost 6 minutes playing in that previous game and not scoring a single goal. The ball sitting up there. Jugs with a necessary touch on it, stopping the ball from getting into the goal face as they try to carry the ball away. Nice interception there from one of the Roos to keep it up in the blue zone.
Oh no, apparently it's at the bottom of the replay, not at the top.
Oh my
EJ
God.
should learn to read.
All right, we're following the ball as it passes over the goal face of the blue. Oh, it's wide open, and Blade gets the goal. But let me tell you, it was almost stolen there by an opportunistic Daisu, who went up, tried to get the final touch on it and a credit for the goal. But that is scores even, 1-1 for Hydra and Roos White in our first game of this evening. Got 3 coming up, EJ.
The fourth round of the first game.
4th round, yeah. Oh, just like that, Jezebel with a reply does a beautiful piece of control there. The ball coming off of the wall and then gets a touch from Wormturd, and Jezebel just fires it in, finds the angle, and puts Hydra back in the lead. That didn't take long at all.
No, it didn't take long at all. That's why he wears the crown, dude. He is the prince of the goals, gets them when he needs them. 2 minutes 51 on the clock here in this 4th round game of the opening match tonight. And it is the Gameroos White versus Hydra. I'm currently following Blade because Blade was doing so well. Blade's doing awesome. Commentators curse, he failed there, Chrisis. I shouldn't follow Blade at all. They need Blade to be doing well.
Yeah, I was actually following Little Grasshopper, and we're back with her as she gets the clear out and then back into the goal. Has the goalie duties right now, and just doing a little bit of juking around there as Jezebel tries to get a demo on him. Very frustrated at the moment with the defensive work that Little Grasshopper has been putting together and trying to resort to demos, but Grasshopper having none of that, avoiding him like a good goalie should. Now we're switched over to Jugs, who is who's defending himself in his own blue zone. The ball goes up into the air. He gets a touch on it, carries it up into the orange zone, gets back up into the air again and just overshoots the ball. And so it stays in the orange zone corner there. Wormturd comes through, keeps the pressure on EJ.
I do like watching these guys, dude, because they do the same noob mistakes I do all the time, so it's really comforting. You watch a lot of the Pro League guys and they're like airborne, hanging aerial shots like, man, I can't do any of that crap. You watch these guys and they try and do a U-turn and it's like a 20-point turn. And you go, yeah, that rocks.
That's me too. 3-pointers are not what I scored. They're what I do when I change the direction of my car. So Jezebel, we've been following him for a while. He's falling back on defensive duties. Just watches the ball flying over him. Wormturd picks it up there. He's going to look for the cross from Wormturd. It's coming there, but the defense is good from Daisu. And the ball gets cleared out, but still sitting in the orange zone. Dangerous play right now for the boys on Gameroos. Hypanova, the ball sitting up. There's a demo. Is it the right way around? Wormturd with a shot on goals, and the halo from Grasshopper turned around. Wormturd says, no, I'm not going to let you keep it out. I'll take a second try because this is the kind of thing that happened to them all the time in that in the previous game, EJ. Sorry, in that high-scoring game. What was it? Game number 2. The ball gets defended but not cleared out, and this time it's to Hydra's favor. 3-1.
Pretty evenly based match when you're looking at the runs of goals that they're both getting. I mean, if it was just an open game, you were adding the games up of goals up between the rounds. It's actually a pretty even game. The teams are fairly evenly skill-based.
Yeah, I think 4-0, 1-0, so that's what, 7 goals scored by the boys from Gameroos, Hypanova White, and in fact, it's 7 goals as well at the moment for the for Hydra. They had 4 in the first game, none in the second, none in the third.
And they're going to take this out, being the 4th game. We're going to go to a 5th and deciding game here. It's about to be 2-2 in this opening match tonight. And is the other team going to wait for us, like the 8:30 game?
They should do, because they've shifted their game to actually be cast at 8:30. So it's going to be
right.
Paragon Esports versus Gameroos Hypanova, CGI team. And yeah, they definitely, they want to be broadcast tonight. So of course we haven't mentioned what our 3rd game is. We've mentioned that there is going to be a 3rd game.
Thank you, Pirate.
But it is going to be Team Molotov versus Sequential Gaming. And that is going to be a huge match.
Dude,
in terms
that's a big game, actually. That's a huge game.
Yeah.
If Molotov pull that one off, you know.
That's going to do an enormous amount for their power rankings. They're sitting, I think, in 4th on the power rankings. And
big one on Tuesday night. Aaron and Soma played pretty crap in the semi-final. So if they're going to take that form with them, Team Molotov are like right in there.
Well,
I mean, if it wasn't for Chili Philly in their slut team the other night, whew, they would have had no chance. It was all Chili Philly.
Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Chili Philly rocks it when he's playing, dude. Soma and Aaron, they were like a pair of old handbags being dragged around the map.
I'm sure they won't be too pleased with that performance, and they'll have been practicing.
I'm just trying to fire them up. You know, we've got to have a good game coming up, because we know Molotov are going to bring it. Molotov brought it on Tuesday night in a big way, so we know they're going to bring it tonight here for the Plantronics Pro League.
Well, not sure what happened there with my camera for a moment there. As we go into game number 5 of the best of 5, dead even, and who's going to score first? It's not going to be the Roos just yet. Blade comes flying through, but Jugs gets a good good clear out, and the danger is over. But what a few heart-stopping moments those were, EJ, if you were on Team Hydra.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll give you an instant soft on if that had gone in for them. So they're very happy that didn't.
So
just got a
following Jugs,
jam pulse. All good. Keep going.
Following Jugs right now. He gets the ball cleared out. The ball's up in the air now. He decides, hey, I'm not going to go for it. Warm Turd is there. And that is exactly what happens. Warm Turd carries it forward, but it's interrupted. And now floating around again near the blue goal. It's not even in the blue zone. It's in their penalty box. Wish we had penalties in this game, but we don't. And they clear the danger for a moment there. But a couple of heart-stopping moments yet again for Team Hydra. Now they've cleared it out. Dezebel carries the ball up into the orange zone. It's sitting around for a while. Blade with some dangerous play looks to pass it to Little Grasshopper or to Daisu. Either one of them, he's probably screaming at them to get the clear out. And finally the ball gets moved out, EJ, but it's back again into the blue zone.
All right, the man with the sunglasses, Big Middy. I haven't done much Big Middy action, Chrisis. Get on the camera onto Big Middy. Let's get some Big Middy loving for the final couple of minutes here in the game. We'll see what Big Middy can do with the pressure on now.
That's because
everyone on Twitch is watching him.
So they've had a substitution in. Daisu is out. Oh, Blade with a halo save. That again, very, very close, and that's been the theme of the match. As we stick with Big Middy carrying the ball up, gets the crossover from the corner, and then has to fall back to Sweet because
that's probably why we hadn't done much Big Middy action all game, dude.
No, it's been Daisu. So Daisu must have had either he had some issues or he's just simply been subbed out for that final game. And super sub Big Middy is in the team to make the difference. He gets up into the air, gets a fender to the ball, but just sets it up floating up in the blue zone. Not really a shot on goals, but the ball carried again up into the blue zone. It's now cleared out. Dezebel has his eyes on it, looks to lurk in the midfield, and then watches the ball fly over together with Big Mitty, who is all over the field, EJ, in his first and final game of the evening.
Oh, here he's got a chance to score. He just overshot that one. He had a chance there, Chrisis. The ball got centered for him. He's back on again. Oh, he knocks it out of the way himself. Big Mitty is heavily involved in the game here. He's making the most of his starting position here in the 5th game. He figures, though, Chrisis, I guess, if I play well enough, I might get a start, you know, first up next game. So pressure is on in the Gameroovers. The game. That's their new name now, dude.
The Gameroovers.
Gameroovers. What an awesome name. If anyone wants that one, you can have it. Feel free to join a ladder team called the Gameroovers. I'm still personally stuck with Big Mitty because I haven't seen him all night. He's dropping back on defense. The blue team of Hydra, they have not been down this end of the field much at all for the last minute or so, Chrisis. So this is quite a rare occurrence for them, which their strategy appears to be turtle up for the first 3 or 4 minutes and then just go for it in that final 30 seconds. And it might pay off for them. 0-0, 1 minute 20 left here in the 5th round.
Nice touch there from Jugs, puts it into the middle of the field, and Warm Turd flies past, Dezebel flies past it, just misjudged it there, and the goal goes begging. So we're back on defense again. And now this is the weird thing. I followed 2 players from Team Hydra falling back on defense while the ball was still hanging around in the orange zone in front of the orange goal, and Blade finally breaks the deadlock that we've had for 4 minutes of this game. EJ gets up into the air, smacks the ball with the side of his car and finds the goal, puts 1 on the board for Roos White, and it is 1-0.
All right, now Hydra got to go for it. They got to throw everything at it. They're 1 down here, 50 seconds on the clock. And Chrisis, what I think it is they don't want a snap turnaround goal where you're heavily on offense and then you get that long-range shot. It's just soul-destroying and crushing for you. So they're dropping back early, but it hasn't worked for them. They're behind in the game here. They really need to pull something out.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand the motivation behind preventing those breakaways, but time and time again, I think we're finding out that in Rocket League, you've got to be on the front foot.
Hang on, here we go. That's my score. No.
Oh, what a save by Warm Turd on the back of his car, bouncing off the back fender there and clearing the ball out there. That would have been absolute tragedy. They still got 2 seconds to keep the ball into the air and get an overtime goal, but no, it gets carried down. Blade puts it onto the ground. Big Mitty was there just to make sure that nobody touched it, but Gameroos, Hypanova, White, and they pick up the 5th and final game, EJ, and that is a win to Gameroos, Hypanova, White.
Now, man of the match, Chrisis, I think Blade played consistently well across most of the rounds then. That last round, he got the goal that won it for them, plus he had 4 shots on goal and a save. My vote for MVP would be a Blade.
All right, I'm happy with that, so let's jot that down, and we'll come back to it because we'll be doing an MVP vote for all 3 of them at the end of the evening. We're going to switch very, very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, to the next game as soon as it's available. So stay tuned for Paragon Esports versus Gameroos Hypanova from the Plantronics Pro League here on Gamester TV.